Hey guys, Katie Taylor here at scrappinkaty.com, where I show you how to preserve your family's memories through the art of scrapbooking. I am playing along again with COAPA Cut Files 20 Days of Christmas, and today we are doing day 5 because this is New Zealand time, and today's layout is all about circles. So I'm starting with one of the cut files from COAPA, which is Messy Circles, and while it is still on my Cricut mat, I am taking a lighter color ink and just sponging all over those cut circles. Now, most of you know that I use Close to My Heart's cardstock, which has a white core to it, which I love for sanding and paper tearing, but sometimes I just don't want that white core to show. So a lot of times I add ink to the edges, and this one, since the circles are kind of flimsy, I thought that would be best to go ahead and add the ink while it is still on my Cricut mat. So I'm just going to peel that back, and then we can bring out the base of my page, which is actually some pattern paper that I was gifted to try out. And here I am actually opening it for the first time. So I'm going to walk you through what you get with this pack of paper and then actually give you a review as I'm working with it, because often I think it's just really important for me to kind of let you know what I think, especially if you're new to scrapbooking and you aren't on a specific line of products yet. Sometimes it helps so you're just not wasting a whole lot of money. So you can see here the gorgeous patterns that you get. You get 24 sheets, and it's 2 of each of 12 designs. So I'm going to walk you through these designs really quickly, and then I am just going to pick this next design, which is kind of the green and kind of yellow lime green. I think that's going to go best with those messy circles that I cut. And then of course you have tons of others. Now I do have a lot of wood grain from Close to My Heart, but since it's not an actual staple in the catalog, I love having this option. Now I did Google, and a 160 GSM paper is about the weight that I'm used to with Close to My Heart, which is 100 pound. The only difference really is Close to My Heart's pattern paper is pattern on the back side, which sometimes I like because you have options, but sometimes I don't like because what if I like both patterns? So on this one, I don't have to worry about it. I love, love, love this wood grain green paper, and I don't have to worry about not using the one on the back side. So you can see here for this messy circle, there are parts of the circles that actually come together that are a little bit wider. So I'm adding some 3D foam tape to those parts just to kind of add some depth and dimension, because it is green and then my background paper is green. So I thought that that would make it pop just a little bit. I'm going to remove the backing of this 3D foam tape and then go ahead and add some Barely Art liquid glue around the other spots. Now you probably can't tell here, but I'm leaving some spots open, and that's just in case I want to tuck some things in behind and under that circle just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. I'm really afraid it's just going to blend in too much. Now it doesn't on screen, and it really doesn't in real life either, but I really was unsure about it. So to play along with more of the circles, I am adding some white paint splatter by using the white gloss spray. I'm just going to splatter this here and there, and then go ahead and take some big drops and add those up at the top, and I believe up at the or down at the bottom. And then I am going to clean that up. Now, one thing about the gloss sprays, it is paint and it is quick drying. It does come off fairly easy off my glass board, but I do have to kind of scrub. So here are the photos that I'm using. Once again, these photos came from the trip to the Christmas tree farm. If you watched yesterday's video, you probably saw those other photos. So I'm anxious to see how these two layouts actually go side by side, and I think they're going to work perfectly. To keep in line with the circle theme, I have pulled out the background stamp and candy apple ink, and then I have some die cut circles in 3 different sizes. And I'm just using that plaid pattern, and I'm going to just ink it up and then stamp it down onto the circles. And these circles are actually going to be nestled around those photos and kind of be anchoring spots for some embellishments. And of course, just like I added ink to the messy circles, I'm adding ink around the circles and then around this little journaling note. Again, this comes from the same PML pack that I used in yesterday's video. I do decide to trim this one down just a little bit. I love the natural shape, that kind of scalloped border of it, and I really didn't want that square around it. So I'm going to finish trimming this down, and then we can start looking at more circles to add to this layout. I am going to rough in these circles right quick, and I am loving the way that harmonious background stamp looks stamped on these. I just think it's the perfect little addition of some Christmas flair. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw a close-up of these white pigment circles. And again, I mess up royally right here. I had this little container that had some re-inker in it. It has literally been open on my desk for maybe 3 or 4 months. I thought it was dry. It was not. So I'm going to clean this up just right quick. All in all, I don't think it's really going to hurt my pigment ink that much, I hope. And then, like always, I'm going to show you how to fix it, because around here it is real life. We make mistakes, and then in scrapbooking there is always a way to fix everything. So I have switched over to a bottle cap of some glitter, and then one of my favorite things to do is use a pencil eraser. Now you want an eraser that hasn't really been used. Now you really can't see with the pigment ink, but this is perfect just for regular dye ink, just the perfect little circle to add everywhere. So I'm going to let that dry. I did let it dry overnight. I was trying not to do a heat gun because of my photos, but I ended up having to add just a little bit of heat to it to get it dry enough so we could go ahead and finish off this layout. I am going to add some 3D foam tape to the back of this largest circle. That will go down at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that middle circle, medium-sized circle, covers that before I adhere this large circle down, just in case we needed to do some redesign. And then that smaller circle is going to go down at the bottom. I think it's best sometimes to add your 3D foam tape to your layout base instead of the actual circle. I'm going to use liquid adhesive for this one because I think some of my embellishments up at the top are going to have some 3D foam tape to them. And then this journaling little spot, I love that I decided to cut that out. And then I'm going to pull out the 4 Seasons Winter Collection sticker sheet and add some of these little sentiments. So I've got 2 strip sentiments, and then I've got this circle that says "'Tis the Season," which I think is perfect. I'm going to add some 3D foam tape to all of those. And I love that Close to My Heart's foam tape actually comes in 2 different widths, because this little tiny width is going to be perfect for that little sticker, that little strip sticker up at the top that says "Make Time to Play," which is perfect since that top photo is of the kids running around. So I'm going to rough this out. I like how that is. So I'm going to go ahead and place that. Now that circle is going over the photo, and then these strip circles, I'm going to kind of play with the placement there. I think, you know, do I want them lined up at the left? Do I want them lined up at the right? Do I want it in the middle? I end up going with the middle, and I really like how it looks, especially later. I'll come back in with that sticker sheet again. So I contemplated cutting this part out of the video, but again, it's real life around here. So I wanted to just kind of show you the thought process. And then also, sometimes, guys, I look at something while I'm actually recording and I don't like it. And then I watch the video while I'm editing, and then I end up liking it. So I kind of wanted to leave this in just to kind of see if I made the right decision. I think in the end I did. So while I am messing with these bows, I thought it was a perfect opportunity. I mentioned my Instagram account a little while ago. If you aren't already a follower, all of my social media links are in the description down below. You can go follow me over there. Sometimes on Instagram, I will do reels and stories, and then definitely some more still shots that you won't see here on YouTube. Again, also, don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. So I am going to pull out the Christmas Story embellishment pack. Now this is made up of paperboard, and I'm loving these little green ferns. There's some holly, there's some mistletoe berries, but I'm just going to cut these out and kind of try to group them around the bows that I tied. Again, that was my original thought, is just to kind of have these little groupings of embellishments, and I thought that the ribbon would anchor those pretty well. So I'm just going to add some extra 3D foam tape. The smaller circle was actually on one of those pieces of the messy circle that had foam tape, so it just kind of was awkward. So I just doubled up on that. And then I'm going to pull off this holly, and I am going to find a place for that. And then, like all embellishments, you guys know that this will all be switched over here in just a second. So I'm just going to keep playing with these, cut apart those mistletoe berries, and I actually am using the backside. You saw that they are in that pine color, but the backside is white. Here's where I decided to nix the ribbon at the top and the bottom and just go with that ribbon toward the side. And then I'm also going to change my mind on the regrouping of these paperboard embellishments. So I'm going to get that finalized and get those adhered down with my Bearly Art liquid glue. And then we are almost done. So thank you so much for holding on just a little bit longer, and then you'll get to see those still shots. I'm going to finish adhering down these holly leaves, and then for the berries, I'm actually going to use my 3D foam circles. The smaller circles will go on the larger berries, and then I'll get those adhered down, and then on that smaller berry, I think I'm actually going to add adhesive to the two larger berries and then just kind of have that smaller one attached to both of those. It's really hard to tell on camera the separation between those berries. Probably should have added some white gel pen, and now that I'm editing this video, I think that's what I'll do. I'm just going to move that bow down and pull out that sticker sheet again from the winter collection. Add a tab over to the right, probably add the date there, and then come in with some hearts. So there's this sage heart, and then I'm going to add this circle with a pine, and add some 3D foam tape to that just to kind of finish out that lower cluster of circles. In my mind, there's never too many circles. And then of course the COAPA challenge for today is circles. And then I am going to pull out a couple of hearts. Now I am going to use the blue one, and I can't remember what color that is, but it's actually going to go up at the top. And I actually think that it really complements the sky blue that is in that photo off to the right. I am still trying to find somewhere to put those mistletoe berries. They didn't make the cut, so here are the still shots. Again, I'll leave links down below to all the products that I used, as well as remember all my social media links that you can go follow me. And don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. Again, this video is part of the 20 Days of Christmas Cut Files by COAPA. Tomorrow will be Traditions. Again, this is on New Zealand time, so if your dates aren't quite matching up. And then Virginia's also got a 25% off sale on all COAPA cut files until December 18th. Oh no, December 20th. So make sure you go ahead and click the link down below in the description box and go check out her Etsy shop and purchase those at 25% off. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Have a wonderful week.